Today, Daniel and the other guy with the know-how and the tools will be building a computer. Tools you'll need to build your own computer. You don't need an expensive toolkit to build your own computer, but there are a few simple tools that you absolutely must have. All these can be easily obtained from almost any computer store or online, usually in a little case that contains everything you need. You can also buy most of them at ordinary hardware stores. As with all tools, you should buy the best quality computer tools that you can afford. Good tools last longer and make the job easier for you. You should have available at a minimum the nut driver, a Phillips screwdriver, needle nose pliers, some cable ties. Plastic cable ties are useful for neatly bundling wires and cables away from fans and other components inside the computer case. Heatsink compound used for the CPU. And an anti-static wrist strap, which I'm already wearing. Now that we have the tools out of the way, let's carry on to the parts that we'll be using for this computer build. Let's start with the CPU. I'll be using the Intel Core i5 2400 with the socket 1155. The motherboard, which is also socket 1155, will be the Intel DH67BL. The RAM I'm using is G.Skill, the Ripjaw series, and I'll be using a DDR3 1600. For the hard drive, I'm using a Seagate 2 terabyte hard drive, and this is the SATA 3. And for a DVD or optical drive, I'll just be using the LG DVD burner. This will all be going into this case here. First thing that you want to do is open up the case. By removing the screws. Once you've taken off the case cover, you can go in and install the brass standoff screws in the correct places that match up and line up with your motherboard. With your motherboard, you notice that there are places to fasten it in. You line up these with the holes that are already in your case, and you install the brass standoff screws where they line up. Now, with the last of the brass standoff screws in place, you can see how this pattern of brass standoff screws line up with the pattern that we have for the main board. Next thing that we want to do is punch out this piece right here. Okay, once this piece has been knocked out, we could then install the backplate that came with the motherboard. You do that by pressing it from the inside. Now, with the backplate in place, we can proceed with installing the CPU heatsink and RAM into our motherboard. We do this before we install everything into the case, because now we can work with it while it's opened in the open air. Okay, there's the Core i5 processor, socket 1155. Now to install this onto the main board, you need to open this up, and this pops out here, this cover. This is a protective cover. Then install the CPU into its socket. Okay, to remove this part, lift up on this handle. There's the 1155 socket. Remove the CPU from its protective cover. Make sure that you do have your grounding strap around your wrist. Notice that there's a gold triangle here. It lines up with this triangle. You'll fasten the handle down. At this point, you would install the thermal compound if your heatsink did not already have it. Our heatsink already has the compound applied. To install the heatsink and fan unit for our CPU, notice that there's 4 hose for the 4 parts of the heatsink. Now with the heatsink in place, it needs to be plugged in to the header that says CPU fan. To install into your case, make sure that your standoff screws are tightened. You already have the proper back plate. And it installs this way. Press back towards the back of the case, and these go on top of these locations here. Now that the motherboard is in the right place, you can now place and screw in the screws to fasten the motherboard in. Now, a word from our sponsor, Intel. They make stuff better than the other guy. What do I do? SATA hard drive. This is the SATA 3 connection, which transfers 6 gigabits per second. To install the hard drive, these connections need to be facing towards the center of the case, and we'll just move this in, line it up, so now we can put in the fastening screws. There's 4 screws to be tightened, 2 on the back side and 2 on this front side here. Now I'll be installing the optical drive. In this case, it's a DVD burner. To install the optical drive, just slide it in from the face, going back, line it up, and then fasten it. Now with the hard drive and the optical drive secured in place with the screws on both sides, now I'll be installing the data cables and power cables, attaching the power cables to these devices. You'll notice that SATA cables only go on one way. They have a shape, kind of like an L shape pattern onto them. Makes it easy for installing. You simply line up that pattern. There we go. For the hard drive, you want to put this into SATA number 0. Next will be the optical drive. Now we'll be installing the power connections. Notice that the power connections do say SATA on them, so we know that they're only for our SATA devices. Again, there's an L shape to them, so they only go in one way. Once you've installed the power connections, double check all of your connections inside the case to make sure that everything is good and snug. Alright, now that we have the cables double checked, everything's nice and snug inside, you want to clean up this area so that you have good airflow with your front case fan, so the air will come in, move up as it gets hot, and then be forced out through. We might have a fan in the back here to blow out, and we also have a fan that blows out from our power supply. To clear a pathway for your air, we use cable ties, and we just want to make sure that we keep all the wires away from any fans that you might have installed, away from the major components such as our RAM, our CPU. If you have a video card, make sure that it doesn't have any cables laying over that as well. Now that we have the cables tied down away from the RAM, CPU, and other components that we might have, and any fans that we might have, we're now ready to install the operating system, and that is done by plugging in the power, Turning on the machine, going into the BIOS, and making sure that we have the CD, the optical drive, as our drive to boot up from. Okay, now we have the monitor, keyboard, and mouse hooked up to the computer. This is the first time that we're turning it on. Okay, we're now into the BIOS. Okay, within the BIOS, you notice here this is the system setup. This is the main BIOS window. We're looking at the BIOS version. This is the BIOS version here. That can be updated as we download the newer updates from the Intel website. The processor type, it says it's the Intel Core i5 2400 working at 3.1 gigahertz. Here's the other information, how much RAM that we have installed. Total memory is 8 gigabytes. Down here is the system information for the current day. We can change that. Here on the configuration window, we see the onboard devices, SATA drives, we're going to go straight to the boot. And here in the boot device priority, we have the optical drives first because that's what we're going to load the operating system from, is from there. Okay, now to install the operating system, we'll save these changes. The system will reboot. And here we see Windows is loading the files. Okay, now in this window we want to choose our language. Click Next. You may choose Install Now. Choose Accept and Next. I usually choose Custom, Advanced Options, New, Apply. Going to set up our drive for us. Let me format the drive. Then choose Next. Now on this point here, we want to type in the customer's name. Click Next. Put in the password if the customer wants one. Click Next. We'll then be putting in the product key for the Windows 7. Okay, then we have the time, 30 now, Thursday. And Windows is finalizing your settings. Now we'll need to install the drivers by inserting the driver CDs. Here we're installing the chipset driver. After this will be the graphics and other drivers, so we can use the features on the motherboard. The next thing that you want to do is install your updates. Click on Start, type in Update, and there's Windows Update. Click there. Click on Check for Updates and then install any updates that the system may need by clicking here on Install Updates. Now after the updates have been installed, the system will reboot. You'll notice that your system will be faster, and you can also go in, right click on Computer, go Properties, and you'd be able to refresh the Windows Experience Index. This one here is showing 7.4 for the CPU. The RAM is at 7.6, the graphics 5.2, the gaming graphics is 4.6, and the primary hard disk 5.9. Well, there you have it. Now you know how to put together all the hardware pieces of the computer and the operating system, the system drivers, and all the Windows updates. Thank you so very much, and have a wonderful day.